on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Bitcoin is still sort of hanging around the same levels as yesterday, whereas we are seeing the altcoins, some of them in the green, some of them in the red. Keep in mind, it is the weekend, right? It also is a holiday, so not a lot of trading happening right now, not a lot of volume, but I have heard some people getting a little bit scared, a little bit bearish about Bitcoin, saying, hey, how come Bitcoin can't seem to break back above $60,000? In fact, we fell down here all the way to about 56,600. Now, I do want to point out super quick that you can see that we're actually just retesting a previous resistance right here. You see this cluster where we couldn't break above it? We actually came down and we've tested this area twice. We tested it on March 31st and we also tested it yesterday as well. So what should we be looking at when it comes to Bitcoin? And is this something that we should be concerned about? Well, there is something that's currently happening right now. And if you don't know what the Kimchi Premium is, I'm going to explain that to you. Basically, there is a very high premium right now on Korean exchanges. Now, the last time that we saw this happen, we saw Bitcoin trading at around $24,000 when Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 20K. And well, I don't have to tell you what happened next. That essentially signaled the top. So, should we be worried this time? Are we getting close to the Bitcoin top? Well, in my opinion, I do believe that we could be in the final stretch of the run. However, I still could see us going up for another 4 to 6 months. But what I want to talk about is what is actually happening right now. There is some good news and there is some bad news. There's something happening right now in crypto. It might be obvious to some of you. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you follow the money, you follow where the institutions are going, you look at what the VCs are doing, you will see that there is a very striking similarity between now and what was happening in 2017. And it is a bit of a warning, and I know people don't like when I go into these potentially bearish type of videos. It's not bearish, but I just want to be realistic, guys. Ultimately, I'm still very pumped about Bitcoin. I want to let you know some of my key targets, but I do want to talk about something that is happening right now. Also, the fact that in just even the recent hype for NFTs, we have seen even some of those sales falling, whereas some of the NFTs that were hot last week, people are actually selling them for a loss now. So I want to talk about just the whole crypto ecosystem in general right now. Lots of things that are on my mind. And also I will talk about 2 altcoins at the end of this video. If you are interested, definitely stick around all the way to the end. And if that sounds good to you, you know what to do if you're not subscribed. We're going to make today's videos a little bit shorter than usual. It is a holiday. I do have to go see my family. So let's get directly into it. Okay. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that we are putting in a bit of a doji right here on the monthly candle, which basically means that we're very indecisive right now, right? We have an equal wick to the top as we do to the bottom. We're basically flat so far on the month of April. Not really anything to go off of right now, right? So having a look right here, what is happening in the charts? Well, really all that I think is happening is that we're just having whale consolidation and whale accumulation, okay? The same way that we did right back here for a few days before we bounced up and hit that first $58,000 level. I think we're doing the exact same thing right now. It is the weekend, so I don't really take price action too seriously. I have mentioned the fact that we could potentially come down here and retest down to the $53,300 level. It's not out of the cards yet. Yes, I do have longs down at those levels. Yes, full transparency, I am in a Bitcoin long right now. I'm not looking for a massive dump. I'm not looking for a massive correction. Worst case scenario, I do believe that we could even dip down into this $50,000 level. However, I don't think that's going to happen. It could. What I think we're going to see potentially is Bitcoin maybe come down to around that $53,300 level. But as you can see right here, we have also flipped the previous resistance support. We did have a bounce here. We are looking to maybe head back into the blue box territory. So in a nutshell, if you don't really know what the heck I'm talking about right now, am I bearish? No. Do I think we could have a little bit of a pullback? Yes. What is the level that I would start getting worried? Well, to be honest with you, I would start getting worried if we dipped below $50,000. Like, not just on a wick. I mean, if we went below there and we closed a daily candle below $50,000, I would start to get a little bit concerned, even though on the macro, it would be a higher high. Right here on the daily, we would be, getting below below a very significant level right here, and that might signal that we could be looking for the trend to get a reversal, but I'm not anticipating that. In fact, like I said, I think about 53,000 might be the lowest we're going to see Bitcoin go before then breaking to my targets I talked about, upwards to $64,000 to even $68,000 before, getting concerned about another pullback, right? Now, we have seen that the altcoins have been booming as the Bitcoin dominance falls. So there is something that we need to discuss that could be a little bit worrisome, maybe not in the short term, but it could be signaling that maybe we're actually getting towards the end of this market. Now, that's not to say that Bitcoin can't go to like 300, 400,000. In fact, we saw in just the last 5 weeks of 2017 was when the majority of the gains happened, right? We saw massive blow off top. So you could see Bitcoin rallying $10,000 a day. I mean, things could get really crazy, but right here, you'll notice that there is this Kimchi Premium, right? So this essentially forms when Bitcoin is trading higher in Korea. It's just a funny name that they gave it, obviously, because Koreans, I suppose, are famous for their kimchi, right? You like kimchi? I like kimchi. It's not bad. Anyway, so in 2017, the Kimchi Premium surpassed 20%, causing Bitcoin to trade at around $24,000. This was when it topped 20K, and that marked the end of the bull run. So last week, the premium resurfaced, hovering at around 6%, which has actually climbed since then to 11%. So you had the CEO of CryptoQuant coming out and commentating on this because there were some people that were worried about this. But he says the fundamentals are looking strong. The difference between this time and 2017 is that South Korea today only actually accounts for 1.7% of the global Bitcoin market, whereas before that number was a lot higher. Also, the fact that we are seeing a very institutionally driven market this time, right? He said that even if South Korea sees a pullback as a result of the rising premium, it wouldn't have as big of an impact. We're also seeing massive high net worth individuals get involved in crypto. We're also seeing giant outflows from Coinbase moving into what we assume would be cold storage. So these are big players. These are Michael Saylors. These are Teslas, Tahini's restaurant, right? Lots of people getting involved in Bitcoin to hodl for the long run. We're not looking for these quick flips. So will the Kimchi Premium have as much of an effect this time around? Maybe not, but there is one other aspect to that. And one reason that a lot of analysts are concerned about the crowded cryptocurrency exchange market in South Korea is that there is a significant interest in newly emerging crypto assets. In other words, the reason that we're probably seeing Bitcoin dominance fall is because a lot of people are starting to buy these altcoins. So, everyone's like, well, how come Bitcoin's not going up? Why is Bitcoin not going up? It's got to go up, right? Well, we saw Ethereum breaking all-time highs the other day, and what we're seeing is a lot of people are getting into the space, they're looking at the price of Bitcoin, and they're saying, it's just too high for me, right? If I buy Bitcoin at $60,000, it needs to go to $120,000 for me to double my investment. So what are they doing? They're investing in a lot of these newer altcoins, these newer tokens. In fact, what you're seeing right here, according to a report from CB Insights, venture capital funds invested $2.6 billion in over 129 crypto-based startups in the first quarter of just this year. Now, they say this accounts for more than all of 2020, which saw only about 2.3 billion. So we have surpassed the entire year of 2020 in just the first quarter right now. Not only do we have that interest, but institutional investors are looking to take advantage. We saw crypto services from NYDIG raising $100 million through Morgan Stanley and the Soros Fund, with the digital also art marketplace, right? NFTs, NBA Top Shot creator Dapper Labs, and NFT marketplace OpenSea. They raised $305 million. So this is what is happening. This is why the price of Bitcoin is not rising. What can you do though? NFTs are getting popular. People are taking, instead of buying Bitcoin, they're like, hey, I'm going to buy this NFT for $20,000 because maybe it'll go to $60,000, right? Or maybe I'll be able to sell it for millions like Beeple, right? So that's what people are doing right now. They're speculating on the lower coins. This is why we're seeing the dominance fall, and the dominance may continue to fall. And honestly, this will hinder Bitcoin's price action. So Bitcoin may sit on the sidelines while the altcoins start to take off. Now, I just want to point that there is the possibility that we could be bottoming out, and maybe we're not going to follow this descending, broadening wedge. Maybe we're actually going to get caught up right here, And this resistance is going to act as support just like it did back here in September and August of 2020. And we could see the Bitcoin price actually start going back up to around the 64% range, which would not be good for some of these altcoins, right? But we have seen massive altcoins. For example, just here, looking at PokerStarter alone, I mean, look at these returns. And a lot of these tokens I told you guys about, we had Eternity, 194x, Superfarm, 173x, Matter, 85x. We didn't do paid. Poke, I talked about, 71x, Options Room, Yacht, Marsh, we talked about, Convergence, Blank, we talked about, Exceed Me, Umbrella, we talked about Kylan, FXF, and all of these. I mean, even the lowest one on this list, the worst performing one, FXF, had a 19x return, right? And we were also talking about, this Moonrock Capital, Morningstar Ventures. They've been obviously investing in a lot of these NFT type markets. Exceed Me, obviously they were PokerStarter, the actual, literally the ideal platform, as well as Pokemon recently, which at its all-time high had a 180x. So that's what's happening. A lot of these funds, a lot of these investors, and even the retailers saying, hey, I'm going to start buying these smaller cap coins, right? And, I think that that's what's happening. Plus, you got guys like Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, everybody coming out. He's getting into the game. He's launching a collection of 8 pieces as well. The woman behind the overly attractive girlfriend meme has become the latest famous internet personality. So Lena Morris, who I guess is the girl, you guys have seen her in this meme. She's 29 years old. She just sold this screenshot. Just this screenshot right here, which we're all able to look at right now. She sold this for $409,672, 200 ETH. So, is this a bubble? Are we in a bubble right now? Well, that is to be answered. I mean, you can see right here that they have spoken about a potential silent crash as price floors collapse across the NFT space. And a silent crash, speculators might not even be aware that one is underway. So a silent crash is something that could happen in the NFT space, right? It's not like where you're trading a token on an exchange and you could see that the price is going down, the price is going down. Silent crashes are basically just like, you buy an NFT for like 20 ETH or something, and then, you hold it, you come back, and then realize that people only want to pay 8 for it, right? It's the same way that we had all these different crazes throughout history. Some people talk about Beanie Babies. I particularly, I still am invested in, I buy and sell records. I do that on the side, and there was a boom for it a few years ago. It's kind of died down right now. I also collect pinball machines, if you guys don't know that. Right now, I'm finding that pinball machines are like a lot hotter now than vinyl records were. So right now, we're going through a little bit of a pinball machine phase. You guys may not know about that. You may not care about that. But NFTs could be sort of doing the same thing. Also, what could be is just that it's all about the hot items at the time, just like with any collectible, right? For example, right here, CryptoPunks, the earliest NFT project, they've seen a 40% decrease in floor to price. However, for example, talking about, what was happening with the Pokemon, you were seeing some of these go. The golden Pokemon, I think there was one for 30,000 the other day. So it could just be flavor of the week, what's the hottest thing that people are getting into, etc. But it is something that I wanted to just warn you guys about. And when people are asking why isn't Bitcoin pumping? Like I said, people are buying these NFTs. People are buying these low cap crypto projects to get these types of returns, right? You're not going to get 194x with Bitcoin, in just a couple months, the way that you have been able to do with ERN. So what I always like to say on the channel is that obviously you have to be careful, okay? I can't speak for any of these projects. I have no idea where their price is going to be in 40 years from now. I do know that right now there's a great opportunity to make money on altcoins. But what I will tell you from experience is getting married to any project, not financial advice, is probably not a great idea. Bitcoin has proven that it can last, right? It has standed the test of time. Ethereum as well. I'd say Ethereum is doing quite well. A lot of these other ones, we don't know, right? Even Polkadot, we don't know, right? It's still relatively new. So I look at these as wealth generation, okay? Essentially, like, these will make you a lot of money fast, but then Bitcoin is the wealth preservation. So, I mean, if you know that Bitcoin is going to go up, to $1 million, 5 million in our lifetime, which I do believe, or even just let's say it's going to go up to $400,000 from this level. So maybe Bitcoin's got another I don't know, 5x, 6x in it, right? But you can do like 190 or whatever from these ones. So what I do is take those profits and put them into Bitcoin, right? Because you know, at least Bitcoin is, I believe personally, Bitcoin is going to be around. But like I said, these are market cycles. But unfortunately, this type of exuberance has been indicators of market tops. Now, when I say market top, I want to stress that I don't think the cycle is over, because I've actually been getting a lot of comments like of people not liking the fact that I'm talking not bearish, but realistic about markets, because one of the biggest problems that we had in 2017 was literally that we had just all these influencers, right? And I'm not going to name names, but it was just to the moon, hodl, 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 like everything's just going to go up forever. And a lot of people got wrecked and a lot of people lost money. So listen, if you've had an opportunity to invest in these altcoins, take some profits off the table, right? If you've done a 3x, take at least a third back, or minimally get back your initial investment. That way you're just riding with free money, right? It's up to you guys. It's however you want to play the strategy. I can't tell you how to do it, but I will tell you this. It's not going to last forever. There will be a bubble burst, okay, for all of these crazy crypto things. And then, you know what, a few years might go by, and then we will have the kings and the queens and the phoenixes rising from the ashes, right? We will have some projects that are going to stand the test of time. Chainlink, right? Chainlink has proven itself. There's been a lot of projects that have proven themselves over time, but a lot of them that were even on the top page, right? Totally gone, right? But that being said, funny, I just went on and just talked about how everybody's throwing their money into altcoins, but I do still want to talk about some altcoins because there is still potential gains to be made. So, talking about NFTs, if you guys aren't familiar with Canon, they're building protocols and products that align incentives of artists, collectors, and investors, and they have just released their first product over here, and that is K21, right? So if you don't know what K21 is, they're essentially an ecosystem built around a closed-end art vault of 21 unique and original NFT arts by a diverse roster of influential and pioneering contemporary digital and crypto native artists. Did you guys get all that? Did you get all that? Okay. Engineered for composability, durability, and equity, K21 establishes a new protocol for art. So while everybody's talking about NFTs, you kind of want to be on the hottest trends, right? So having a look right here, the collection has been assembled by an anonymous team of crypto art originators and curators with over 50 years of collective experience leading contemporary art and digital programs at some of the most renowned cultural institutions in the world. So obviously they have a token, which is why I'm bringing this up. It allows anyone to be a part of the decision movement in art and technology. There will only ever be 21 million K21 tokens. Interesting number they chose to pick, 21 million, each representing partial ownership of the vault collection, right? And one thing that I do like about that is the idea of ownership. I think NFTs in general, that's a good concept, right? Like if we had like a building or land or something tokenized, but here's sort of the interesting part. So we're talking about these sort of like breakthroughs, right? Like what's the new thing coming out? Well, they're introducing the concept of X NFTs to extend those in the vault with additional serial NFT artworks by the same artists, such as stills for video artworks, or video works, etc., that are algorithmically generated iterations, as well as new formats like AR and VR as well, sold along bonding curves. These will allow the earliest buyers to own individual works outright as approachable prices, and XNFTs, it's a little bit of a mouthful, can also be staked to unlock greater reward potential in the K21 liquidity mining pools. So, I mean, guys, this is just something to look at, right? I mean, you look down here, Morningstar Ventures is on. They're involved in this. I mean, they were behind all of these. These had amazing returns. And obviously, this is already a token out on the market. A lot of people said, oh, well, it's really difficult to get into these pre-sales, which I agree. But I think the idea behind them is that they're keeping they're keeping the raises very low, because what we saw was raises so high, right? You had sales of like $200 million back in 2017. So like in order for you to double your money, it has to go to 400 million, right? So by keeping the raise lower, there's a better return for the investors, but obviously that's an issue for people trying to get in on the sales. But also we've seen really good growth after the sales because people couldn't get into them, right? So it's kind of an interesting thing. You know, one of the other projects that I talked about was Vortex DeFi. And, you know, these guys had not really, the price was kind of stable for a while, right? A lot of people said, hey, you talked about Vortex DeFi. It wasn't really doing anything. Well, recently it started to move. And I think people are starting to realize these different applications, right? So you also have to realize that not only is it like the NFT craze, but it's also the DeFi space as well. We saw a lot of projects coming out, yield farming, pickles and carrots and every other thing, right? But then you need these tools to help simplify it. And that's really where Vortex comes in. They say, you know, yield farming simplified. Now, I've talked about these on the channel. They have a lot of supported protocols. They're saying they're looking to bring together leading protocols to allow honest farmers to leverage the maximum potential. So they have MakerDAO, Uniswap, Idle, Compound, Aave, Nexus Mutual, Kava, Yearn, Carve, and 1inch as well. You can see they do have talking about VPay, ramps to buy and sell tokens, VSwap, VNFTs, VYield as well. They have the VDEX, the VInsurance. So they have a very large ecosystem that they're building out right now. And yeah, I mean, you can see right here that they, look right here, partners and investors, Moonrock Capital. There's another one there they are again, right? And you could see that they do in fact have the application beta, which is already up and running if you guys wanted to check that out. So, you know, some people were saying, well, you know, what are some projects that are out right now? I mean, this has a relatively low market cap. It was lower the other day. It was around 11. It's up 11% today. It is sitting at around 15. Let's see, has it gone up? It's sort of just hovering around there as well. So, I mean, 15 million compared to some of these other projects. I mean, for example, I mean, just to compare a recent one, you have 15 million over here for Vortex, and, you know, Pokemon has 61. You know, Eternity has 345, although granted, these aren't really in the same sector. I guess actually, if you wanted to look for things that could be more like that, you could do Orion, which we brought to you. We were talking about this at $2, guys. This is done at 10x. This is at a $400 million market cap. So that's basically what I was just trying to bring you guys. I mean, just have a look at these, you know, K21 and Vortex as well. Obviously, I'm not trying to shill anything, guys. I don't really gain anything by like obviously telling you about this, but like there are projects out there that I still do think have potential. And yeah, not everybody's able to get into these sales. So these are the ones that are still, you know, they're available right now on the exchange. But, you know, obviously be careful, guys. You know, for example, this one has been pumping the past few days, but I did tell you about this literally before the sale. So there was plenty of time. In fact, it actually dipped low after the sale and came back up again. You can actually see, where is it? Right here. Let me go to all. You can see it actually had a dip right here where it had a maximum of 26 cents and it went down to about 14 cents. So there's actually was a lot of opportunity to accumulate that. It is kind of at the top right now, but I still do think that it has, I mean, I don't see why we can't go to 30 million. I mean, considering that it's just starting to really gain the traction and they don't even have, you know, they only have the beta out right now. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk realistic today. Obviously, there is a lot more money to be made in these altcoins versus Bitcoin. That's probably affecting the Bitcoin price. But regardless, you know, institutions are still going to come in. They're still going to want to get in on the Bitcoin bandwagon. And I do believe that Bitcoin still has a nice move, minimally, at least to up here around the $64,000, $65,000 level, regardless of if we have a drop down here. And to summarize, I don't want to see us fall below this level right here. This is the $50,000 level, because falling below this would actually put in a lower low, and then our trend would be a lower high and a lower low, and yeah, then the trend would be changing. So yeah, but until then, there's no reason for me to be bearish. So that's my update for today. Enjoy your day. I hope you guys take some, hope you guys find value out of these videos. Like, I'm trying to be realistic with this. I'm trying to show you both sides of the coin. I don't want to just be like a non-stop moon boy. Everything's going to the moon. But I'm not a bear either, if that's sort of like, you can take that away from this. So guys, I love you. You're awesome. Just stop watching the video. If you're hanging out with family today, go hang out. Everything's fine. I'm not worried about crypto. I think we got a good run ahead of us. Also, thank you. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers. This is crazy. So, you know, if you're new to the channel and you haven't got subscribed, well, you know, let's make that 200. I think it would look very nice as a nice round number. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. And if you haven't checked out these videos popping up right here, right now, check them out. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.